Ladies and gentlemen, well, mostly ladies today, I want to talk about something we all know but don't always say out loud. Attraction isn't just about looks. Attraction, real, lasting, magnetic attraction, comes down to behavior. Now, I've coached thousands of women across the world, and here's the truth. Classy never goes out of style. You don't have to be the loudest in the room, the most glamorous, or the most liked on Instagram. Because when a woman carries herself with class, she becomes unforgettable. A woman who understands the power of silence carries a rare kind of confidence. In a world that constantly encourages us to fill every space with words, noise, and opinions, a woman who can be calm and composed in silence stands out. She doesn't feel the need to overshare, over-explain, or talk just to be heard. Instead, she is comfortable with pauses. She listens carefully, responds thoughtfully, and doesn't rush to fill the void. That kind of self-restraint speaks volumes, often more than words ever could. When she enters a room, she doesn't need to be the loudest to be noticed. Her presence is felt in how she holds herself, how she observes, and how she engages with intention. Silence, when used with confidence, becomes a form of presence, almost magnetic. It creates mystery. It signals self-assurance, and men notice that, because it's not passive silence, it's intentional silence. It's the kind of quiet that says, I'm not here to prove anything, I know who I am. In conversations, she gives others space to talk, making people feel seen and heard. That attentiveness is attractive because it reflects emotional intelligence. And when she does speak, her words have weight. They land, they matter, because she's not speaking to perform, she's speaking from clarity and self-respect. This doesn't mean she's reserved or distant. It means she knows that not everything needs a reaction, and not every silence needs to be filled. There's a grace in restraint. It shows she's grounded. It shows she's in control, not just of the room, but of herself. And that quiet confidence, it's unforgettable. Men don't just notice it, they respect it and often find themselves drawn to it more than they realize. A woman who sets boundaries without drama exudes a quiet strength that is incredibly attractive. She doesn't need to make ultimatums, raise her voice, or prove a point. Her boundaries are clear, not because she constantly talks about them, but because she lives them. She shows others how to treat her through her actions. If someone crosses the line, she doesn't explode or beg for respect. She simply steps back, removes herself from situations that don't serve her, and continues with grace. That calm, composed response shows emotional maturity and self-respect, both of which are traits men deeply admire, even if they don't always articulate it. What makes her stand out is her consistency. She doesn't bend her values just because she's attracted to someone. She doesn't pretend to be okay with things that make her uncomfortable, and she never tolerates disrespect just to keep the peace. This firmness isn't cold, it's empowering. It communicates, I like you, but I won't lose myself for you. That message hits different. It earns respect, even from men who are used to getting their way. She doesn't make others guess where she stands. Her honesty is direct, but never aggressive. She can say no without guilt and yes without pressure. That emotional clarity creates a sense of safety and stability. Men are drawn to her not just because she's attractive, but because being around her feels grounded and real. Boundaries, when done with kindness and certainty, are one of the most powerful ways a woman can show her self-worth. They aren't walls, they're filters, and classy women know that the right man won't be intimidated by their boundaries. He'll rise to meet them. There's something undeniably attractive about a woman who speaks with elegance rather than ego. She doesn't dominate conversations to prove how smart, successful, or interesting she is. She doesn't name, drop, or turn every discussion into an opportunity to showcase herself. Instead, she engages with curiosity. She listens with intent, and when she speaks, Her words are thoughtful, clear, and often uplifting. This kind of communication shows not only confidence but emotional intelligence, two qualities that immediately stand out to the right man. Her elegance isn't about having a perfect vocabulary or sounding rehearsed. It's about her tone, her timing, and her awareness of others. She knows that true connection isn't about impressing, it's about being present. She values dialogue over monologue and connection over performance. This makes others feel safe, heard, and genuinely appreciated in her presence. What sets her apart is that she never uses sarcasm or sharpness to tear others down. She doesn't need to be the most opinionated person in the room to be respected. Instead, she shares her views with calm assurance and an open mind. Even in disagreement, she remains composed and respectful. That grace under pressure is not just rare, it's deeply magnetic. Men notice this kind of communication. They feel at ease around it. In a world filled with loud opinions and constant comparison, a woman who brings peace into a conversation is like a breath of fresh air. She doesn't seek to win every debate or impress every person. She simply shows up as her authentic self, with kindness and class, and that's what makes her unforgettable. Her elegance doesn't compete, it elevates. And the right man won't just admire her for it. He'll feel more like himself when he's around her. A woman who has her own life and truly loves it radiates a type of confidence that can't be faked. She isn't waiting for someone to complete her story. She's already the main character in a life she enjoys. Whether it's her work, her passions, her friendships, or even her solo time, she moves through her days with purpose. This independence doesn't mean she's closed off or unwilling to share her world with someone. It means she's selective about who gets to be part of it. Men notice this immediately. There's something deeply attractive about a woman who doesn't need constant attention or validation. She's not clingy, she's not playing games, she's fulfilled. When she's with someone, it's not out of neediness, but genuine desire, and that difference is everything. A man doesn't feel like he has to entertain her or fill a void. He feels like he's being invited into something meaningful and whole. Her independence also gives her a calm, steady energy. She isn't panicked if a text takes a few hours to come back. She doesn't build her week around someone else's availability. She has plans, priorities, and passions that light her up. And because of that, she's more interesting to be around. She brings stories, depth, and a unique perspective that comes from living fully. The right man won't feel threatened by her independence. He'll be drawn to it. He'll want to be part of her world, not because she's asking him to, but because it's clear she doesn't need him. She's choosing him. And when a woman chooses you from a place of self-worth and joy, not desperation or fear, it feels powerful. It feels real. That kind of energy is rare, and men find it incredibly attractive. Kindness is often misunderstood as weakness, but in a truly classy woman, kindness is strength wrapped in warmth. She doesn't go out of her way to please everyone or say yes to things that make her uncomfortable. Instead, her kindness is intentional. It comes from a place of self-awareness, not insecurity. She treats people with respect, offers genuine compliments, and shows empathy, but she also knows when to step back, speak up, or say no. That balance is what makes her presence so compelling. What men find especially attractive is that she's emotionally generous without being emotionally dependent. She can be nurturing, thoughtful, and encouraging, but she never loses herself in trying to keep someone else happy. She doesn't give in order to be liked. She gives because that's who she is. And when someone crosses a line, she doesn't smile through it or pretend it's okay. She holds her ground, calmly but firmly. This behavior is a breath of fresh air. In a world where many people either shut down or lash out when hurt, a woman who can respond with grace, yet still protect her peace is rare. Her kindness makes others feel safe, and her strength makes them respect her. That combination is what draws men in and keeps them intrigued. She might not always be the loudest or flashiest person in the room, but she's often the most remembered because the way she makes people feel, seen, valued, respected, leaves a lasting impression. And when that kindness is paired with quiet confidence and strong boundaries, it becomes irresistible. The right man doesn't just notice her, he admires her because he knows that her kindness isn't just a trait, it's a choice. And that choice makes all the difference. A classy woman doesn't try to impress, she simply shows up as herself. She doesn't perform or wear a mask to fit in with someone else's expectations. Her confidence isn't loud or over the top, it's subtle and steady. She's comfortable in her own skin, and that kind of authenticity is rare. Instead of chasing attention, she commands it by being fully present, by genuinely engaging with people, and by not needing to prove her worth in every interaction. What makes her so attractive is that she's not trying to be perfect. She laughs at herself, admits when she doesn't know something, and lets others see the real her, flaws and all. That honesty is refreshing. Men are drawn to it because it feels real. There's no guessing, no second guessing, just a calm, grounded presence that feels effortless but speaks volumes. She's not worried about what people think every second. She dresses for herself, not for approval. She moves through a room with grace, not arrogance. Her value isn't tied to likes, attention, or validation. It comes from within, and it shows in the way she carries herself. This level of self-trust creates a powerful energy. People feel it, and they remember it. Men notice her not because she's putting on a show, but because she isn't. There's a deep confidence in someone who doesn't need external applause to feel worthy. She doesn't oversell herself because she doesn't have to. Her authenticity does the work for her, and that's the difference. She's not trying to be noticed. She is noticed simply by being herself. That presence, that ease, that quiet certainty, it's incredibly attractive. Because while many try to stand out, she stands firm, and that's what makes her unforgettable.